All right, so I fired up No Man's Sky the other day, and man, it's a whole different game than what I remember. I mean, I was there at launch when everyone was losing their minds about all the stuff that was missing, and honestly, it was kind of rough around the edges. But fast forward to now, and it's like a whole new experience. Seriously, the developers have been busy adding tons of features and making it way better. You can build these awesome bases now, and every planet feels different with weird creatures and plants to discover. And the space combat? Forget about it. Dogfighting with pirates is seriously intense. It's actually kind of like what happened with Cyberpunk. Remember all the drama? But now both games are pretty awesome. No Man's Sky even has VR support now, which is insane, and you can play with your friends and go on missions together. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you wrote this game off before, you should definitely give it another shot.
Fisk's men have fled through the building. Eliminate them.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 swings onto the PlayStation 5 with even more action and a darker story than before. This time, you get to play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales with new abilities and suits to try out as you web-sling across an expanded New York City.
Is that a Higgs field? That's actually really cool.
The combat is more brutal and fluid with new enemy types and challenges to keep you on your toes. Explore a larger map with new districts and iconic landmarks and face off against classic villains like Venom and Kraven the Hunter. The story dives deeper into the relationship between Peter and Miles as they face their greatest threat yet. While the game can feel familiar at times, and the pacing can be a bit uneven, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is still a thrilling superhero adventure with amazing web-swinging action and a gripping story. It's a must-play for fans of the first game and anyone who loves Spider-Man. Death Stranding is a really unique game, and I gotta say it was quite the experience. Some people might call it a walking simulator, and yeah, you do spend a lot of time trekking across this crazy landscape, but it's not just about that. You're like this delivery guy in a post-apocalyptic world where everything is super weird and you have to connect these isolated cities. It's kind of slow-paced, but it's also really beautiful and atmospheric with some crazy creatures and this really cool story about connections and stuff. The gameplay can be a bit repetitive, I guess, like you're always balancing your cargo and trying not to fall over, which can get a little old. But honestly, I kind of found it relaxing in a weird way, and the story kept me hooked. Plus, the online thing, where you can see other players' structures and stuff, is really cool. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, but if you're looking for something different and you don't mind a bit of a slower pace, Death Stranding might surprise you. Forza Horizon 5 is a ridiculously fun racing game that lets you drive hundreds of amazing cars through a beautiful recreation of Mexico. You can race against other players online or explore the huge open world at your own pace, discovering hidden areas and completing cool challenges. The graphics are incredible, and the cars look and sound so real, you can practically smell the burning rubber. There are tons of different races and events to keep you busy, like street races, off-road rallies, and even crazy stunt challenges. You can customize your cars with different paint jobs and upgrades, and you can even buy and sell cars with other players in the game's auction house. While the game can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming with so much to do, and the always online requirement can be a bit annoying, Forza Horizon 5 is still one of the best racing games ever made. It's a must-have for any car enthusiast or fan of open-world games. Divinity Original Sin is a really fun game where you create your own characters and go on an epic adventure with turn-based combat that makes every fight feel like a puzzle you need to solve, and the freedom to explore the world and make your own choices with a story that keeps you hooked with interesting characters and unexpected twists. The game can be quite challenging, though, and sometimes you might get stuck or frustrated because it throws a lot of information at you at once, and it can be a bit overwhelming, but if you're patient and like to experiment, you'll find a lot to love in this game. With its beautiful world and engaging story, Divinity Original Sin is a must-play for fans of role-playing games. And if you're looking for a deep and rewarding experience that you can really sink your teeth into, then this is the game for you. Microsoft Flight Simulator is a truly stunning game that lets you fly anywhere in the world with incredibly realistic graphics and weather effects, so you can experience what it's really like to be a pilot and soar through the skies. The game has a huge variety of planes to choose from, and you can even fly real world routes and visit famous landmarks, which adds to the immersion and makes you feel like you're actually there. However, the game can be quite demanding on your computer, and you'll need a pretty powerful machine to run it smoothly. Plus, the sheer amount of detail can sometimes be overwhelming, especially if you're new to flight simulators. Overall, though, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is an amazing experience that any aviation enthusiast or gamer should definitely check out because it offers a level of realism and immersion that is unmatched by any other flight simulator currently available. Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is a one-of-a-kind detective RPG where you play as a cop with amnesia trying to solve a murder in a really weird and interesting city. And the cool thing is, you get to create your own type of detective with different skills and personality, so you can be a super smart detective or a total goofball. What really makes this game special is the amazing writing. It's super funny and makes you think about all sorts of things, and the world is full of interesting characters and hidden secrets that you'll want to uncover. Plus, the voice acting in the Final Cut version really brings the characters to life. Now, just a heads up, there's a lot of reading in this game, and it can be a bit slow at times. So if you're not into that kind of thing, it might not be for you, but if you're looking for a truly unique and unforgettable RPG experience, Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is definitely worth checking out. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a bold reinvention of the series, blending classic Zelda charm with modern open world design, and it works beautifully. Critics are raving with perfect scores comparing it to all-time greats like Mario 64 and Half-Life. Despite initial skepticism, it stays true to its roots while embracing fresh ideas. You play as Link, awakening 100 years after Hyrule's fall. The massive open world encourages exploration and discovery without holding your hand. It's challenging but rewarding, offering some great moments, creative combat, and systems like crafting and stamina-based traversal that keep gameplay engaging. Unlike most open-world games, it doesn't spoon-feed you towers. For example, they don't unlock maps, but instead let you scout and set your own path. The minimalist story is bolstered by voice acting, and the stunning art direction compensates for occasional frame dips. It's not perfect. Weapon durability can frustrate, and the vastness might feel overwhelming. But it's undeniably one of the best Zelda games in years. If you love open-world adventures or Zelda, this is a must-play.